At the edge of the school cafeteria, a boy sat alone. His clothes were brand new, his shoes spotless, and his lunch tray filled with expensive meals. Yet, no one dared to sit beside him. He was the son of a millionaire, everyone knew it. But wealth often builds walls, and in this case, it built silence. The boy stared down at his untouched food, his fingers tapping nervously on the table. He wasn't arrogant, just lonely. His father's money had bought him many things, but not a single friend. The whispers around him stung more than he would ever admit. Then, from the farthest corner of the cafeteria, a girl walked over. Her uniform was faded, her shoes worn out, and in her hand, she carried nothing more than a small piece of bread. She smiled softly and asked, "Can I sit here?" The boy looked up, startled. Nobody had spoken to him all week. "Why?" he asked. "Because lunch tastes better when we eat together," she said, breaking her bread in half and offering him a piece. He hesitated, then smiled for the first time in days. That simple gesture, so small, so human, felt bigger than all the riches in his world. At that moment, the boy realized something: friendship isn't bought with money. It's found in kindness, in the courage of someone willing to sit beside you when no one else will. And for the first time, he didn't feel rich or poor. He just felt seen. The cafeteria moment was just the beginning. After that day, the millionaire's son, Ethan, and the poor girl, Lily, started sitting together every lunch break. Students whispered behind their backs, some mocking Lily for aiming too high, others teasing Ethan for lowering himself. But neither of them cared. For Ethan, Lily's presence felt like sunlight after a long winter. She never asked about his father's money, his mansion, or the car that dropped him off every morning. Instead, she asked about him, his favorite books, his dreams, and why he always looked so sad. Nobody had ever asked before. One afternoon, as they sat under a tree behind the school, Ethan finally opened up. "Everyone thinks I have everything," he whispered, breaking off a piece of the sandwich Lily had shared with him. "But at home, it's just empty halls and parents too busy for me." Lily listened, her eyes soft with understanding. "You know," she said, holding up her half-eaten apple, "I don't have much. But I have my mom. We don't even know if there will be dinner some nights, but she makes sure I never feel alone. I guess love fills the spaces money can't." Her words sank deep into Ethan's heart. For the first time, he didn't envy others' families, he admired them. He realized wealth wasn't measured in bank accounts, but in the love and kindness one could give. As the sun dipped lower, Ethan made a silent promise: if one simple act of sharing bread could heal his loneliness, then maybe he too could use what he had, not to buy friends, but to change lives. It was the beginning of a friendship that would soon become something far greater than either of them could imagine. Weeks passed, and Ethan and Lily's friendship grew stronger. They became inseparable, one with nothing but a heart full of kindness, the other with everything except someone to share it with. One chilly morning, Lily arrived at school without her usual smile. Her backpack looked lighter, and she didn't bring even a piece of bread. Ethan noticed immediately. "You didn't eat breakfast, did you?" he asked gently. Lily shrugged, forcing a smile. "It's fine. I'm used to it." Ethan's chest tightened. He thought about the untouched meals at his house, the fridge filled with food no one ever cared about. That night, he couldn't sleep. He realized how unfair it was that Lily, the one who had given him friendship, didn't even have enough to eat. The next day, Ethan brought an extra lunchbox. Not a tray of expensive food from his father's chef, but simple sandwiches he had made himself. "For us," he said nervously, handing it to her. Lily's eyes widened. "You made this?" Ethan nodded. "You once shared your bread with me when I needed it most. Let me do the same." Tears shimmered in Lily's eyes as she took a bite. "This is the best sandwich I've ever had," she whispered. For Ethan, it wasn't about the food. It was about finally understanding what Lily had taught him. Kindness is most powerful when it costs you something, time, effort, and a piece of your own heart. What began as a lonely boy and a girl with a piece of bread was turning into something much bigger, a friendship that would soon challenge the walls of wealth and poverty, showing everyone around them what humanity truly meant. Their friendship didn't stay hidden for long. Soon, other students began to notice. At first, it was whispers, "Why is the millionaire's son eating with her?" But gradually, curiosity replaced judgment. One afternoon in the cafeteria, Ethan and Lily were laughing over a joke when a shy boy with glasses approached. He usually ate alone too. Can I sit with you guys?" he asked nervously. Lily smiled warmly. "Of course. Lunch always tastes better when shared." That single moment sparked something unexpected. Within weeks, their lonely corner had turned into the busiest table in the cafeteria. Children from all backgrounds, rich, poor, shy, or bullied, found themselves drawn to the warmth Ethan and Lily had created. The walls of status, money, and fear began to crumble, replaced by laughter and shared meals. But not everyone was happy. Some wealthier students rolled their eyes, calling Ethan soft and mocking Lily for acting like she belonged. Yet Ethan didn't back down. "If being kind is weakness," he told them calmly, "then I never want to be strong." Those words spread like wildfire. Teachers overheard. Parents started asking questions. And soon, the story of a millionaire's son and a poor girl sharing bread reached beyond the schoolyard. One evening, Ethan's father, always buried in business calls, looked up from his desk when Ethan said, "Dad, can we donate some food to families who need it?" For the first time, his father saw something in his son's eyes he had never noticed before: purpose. And though he didn't say it out loud, he felt a flicker of pride. What started with one piece of bread was slowly turning into a movement, proof that kindness, once planted, spreads like fire. A month later, the school hosted its annual charity fair. Usually, it was just a showcase of crafts and baked goods, but this time, Ethan had a different idea. With Lily by his side, he stood on stage in front of students, teachers, and parents. Nervously gripping the microphone, he said, "Most people know me as the millionaire's son. But truth is, I used to be the loneliest kid here. No one spoke to me, until someone with nothing but a piece of bread sat down and said, 'Let's eat together.'" The crowd turned toward Lily, who blushed, clutching her mother's hand. "That small act," Ethan continued, his voice breaking, "taught me more about love and humanity than all the money in the world. So today, I want to give back. Every penny raised at this fair will go to families in our community who need food and support." The room erupted in applause. Parents opened their wallets. Students donated their allowances. Teachers volunteered. For the first time, the charity fair wasn't just an event, it was a mission. By the end of the night, tables overflowed with food supplies, and donations filled boxes. Lily's mother cried as Ethan handed her a basket of groceries, whispering, "This is for you too. Thank you for raising the girl who changed my life." In that moment, Lily realized something profound. She had given Ethan friendship, but he had given her hope that the world could change. The millionaire's son and the poor girl stood side by side, no longer divided by wealth or status, but united by something far greater: humanity. And as the crowd cheered, Ethan thought back to that very first day in the cafeteria. One piece of bread had turned into a feast for an entire community.